listening to Her Profit Era, the podcast for founders who want a business that actually works, a business that's profitable, predictable, and pays them well. I am Cindy Kumar, a CPA, a fractional CFO from Abbotsford, BC, Canada. I'm the person founders call when they're tired of high revenue months with no money left over. I started this podcast because too many founders were chasing sales while their margins, cash flow, and bank accounts told a completely different story. I believe profit and money in the bank is the standard, not a bonus, and that every founder deserves clarity around their numbers. Each week, you'll get real financial strategy you can actually use and honest conversations with founders and industry experts about what it really takes to build a business that lasts. Today, I want to talk about content because I'm having conversations with so many people. People are having blogs, even clients as well. I feel like everyone's just getting overwhelmed with social media, not knowing what to post, when to post. So I just wanted to do kind of an update kind of episode. If you haven't listened to my past episode on what I do for content, you can visit that episode as well. But today I just want to get into what I'm doing in this season of my business. So I really want us to get away from using ChatGPT to just formulate our thoughts, our opinions, even content ideas. If you're stuck and you don't know what to post and you're just like, okay, ChatGPT, this is what I do, create some content, and then you're just copying and pasting it. I want you to stop doing that because that doesn't work and your ideal client isn't going to resonate with that. So here are some steps that I've been implementing that I want to share with you. So let's get into it. So number one is really focusing on what you do on a day-to-day basis. So for me, for example, I just got through tax season. I saw common themes of people that owed taxes, difference between their year ends versus when taxes were due, common questions clients were having, just basically anything that came up, and also just looking at my clients' journey. So where were they when they first started working with me? Where are they now? What were the steps we took? How do I support my clients? What are the action steps and the things I do on a daily basis? So that's going to be one area of your content, is focusing on what you're doing with your clients. What are you bringing to the table? What are the results your clients are having? What industries are you focusing on? What are some patterns, mistakes, things that are coming up in the work that you do on a daily basis? Now, step two, I want you to focus on you as a person. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? How do you see things in your industry? For example, for myself, I'm a CPA, I'm an accountant, but I see the accounting industry is very dry. Everyone's so focused on the volume of tax clients that they're not actually building relationships with their clients. Also, a lot of CPAs aren't being tax strategists or giving their clients the right advice. So I'm sharing those kind of things in my content. From a cash flow perspective, I'm really big on profitability, having money in the bank, building your emergency savings, being more proactive versus just focusing on the revenue number and Stripe screenshots. So I am really vocal on those kind of things. And then also just looking at your experience. So before you started your business, what kind of jobs did you have in corporate? What kind of lessons did you learn? For example, I shared a post on how I worked at 4 different firms. I was let go at 2 of them. And I just shared how scared I was to ask for help, or certain things came up and I got messing up on work and things like that. And I got over 100,000 impressions on LinkedIn because it's something that I'm sharing that I went through that people resonated with. So look at what you've been through in your life, whether it's personally, whether it's through corporate work or contract work, like whatever you've done prior to that, or even like being in university, getting your degree, getting your certificates, high school, like whatever it is that's really sitting with you, connected to the work that you're doing. So, in that example, when I got let go of jobs and I was making all these mistakes and I was scared to ask for help, I connected that back to the CFO work I do because a lot of women that I work with are afraid to look at the numbers. They're afraid to ask for help with cash flow, even tax planning, all these kind of strategies and things. So, it's like, what did you go through and what can you connect it with so that your ideal client can resonate with it? And I find storytelling's easier to go through because people can connect with it versus if you're just saying like, if you want to fix this, do these 3 steps. Like that kind of content just doesn't work anymore. And you don't need like fancy editing or none of that stuff. Like I literally just sit in my car, hold my phone, and I just talk. That's it. Or I'll be drinking my jaw and then I'll have an idea and then I just record. And 99% of the day, I'm in sweats and I really don't care. I hardly ever wear makeup, but does that take away from like my messaging and what I'm saying? No, it doesn't. Because you're showing up as yourself. You're sharing your beliefs, your thoughts, and you're sharing why it's important to your ideal type of client. Now, step 3 is just keep like a Google Docs. I was using Airtable before, but now I'm just keeping all my ideas in a Google Docs. So now at the end of the week, I'll do like a brain dump. Okay, like who did I have calls with this week? What did we talk about? What were the common issues? Anything CRA related, like what came up, what's coming up, deadlines, and tax planning stuff, conversations I'm having with like other people. What are they finding with their clients? Like basically anything that's going on in your life during that week or any ideas that come to you, you're basically just putting it all in that Google Docs. And then when you take like your CEO week or your CEO day, you're just creating content based on that. You can create carousels, talking reels, just LinkedIn, just like a breakdown of your thoughts. And then you could even record a podcast, YouTube shorts. Like there's so much you can do with the same type of ideas. It's more of just putting a plan in place and also understanding like you as a person is why your clients work with you. If you have a team, they're coming to you for a specific reason, a specific problem. And rather than comparing yourself to like other people in the industry, and or just relying on ChatGPT to create you generic content like every other person in your industry, like that's not helping you in the long term. So I really want you to have a good strategy. Just sit down and do a brain dump. That's what I do like on a weekly basis, and it's been so helpful. Like, and then I'll just batch all my content once a month, and then I just post it or schedule it. And it becomes so much easier. Another thing I wanted to share was people think that you need to go viral in order for your content to convert. Well, I was looking at my impressions on Instagram on my elevated accounting page. I had 45,000 views in March. In April and May, I didn't care for posting. I didn't want to be on social media. I just didn't want to talk to people. And I wasn't posting consistently. So in April and May, I only had 11,000 views. And now in June so far, now that I'm back into posting, I feel inspired. I have all these ideas flowing to me. I'm back at like 30K. But did not posting impact my business? No, it didn't because I was just reflecting, and in May, I signed 2 CFO clients. And the important thing is like, is your content working for your ideal client? So when you post, can your ideal client see you as a solution to their problem? Like that's what it comes down to. Like you don't need 10,000 views. Maybe you only get like 100, but you have an engaged audience and you're speaking to your right type of client. So it's really important to just focus on those aspects. Like, am I creating content that feels good to me? Does it resonate? What's my experience like? And then really being proactive with like coming up with your content, recording it, being creative. And that's it pretty much. Like, we just overcomplicate it so much. And even for example, like yesterday, I just went through my LinkedIn connections. I had so many accountants, fractional CFOs, all these kind of people that are technically my competitors. So, like, why am I like engaging with those kind of people when really I should be finding my ideal type of client on LinkedIn or potential podcast guest or with someone that has an audience similar to my ideal client. Like, that's what you should be looking for. And I was finding that like on my LinkedIn, I was connecting and my content was just resonating with other CFOs, bookkeepers, accountants, people just connected to the accounting industry. And I was just like, this doesn't make sense to me. Like, unless I was doing like an accounting mastermind or coaching other accountants, like I don't want that engagement. So it's totally fine to like unfollow accounts, remove followers. I do that all the time. And that number doesn't matter. Like, I've been stuck at like 3,000 followers for the last like 3 years, but it hasn't impacted anything in my business because I'm still signing clients, I'm still making money. So none of those kind of metrics really matter. What matters is that you have structure with your content. You're like batching content, you're being proactive and not wasting so much time sitting there the day of like, what should I post? Like, no, none of that. We want you to really sit down, do a brain dump of everything that you do, and even like take pictures of like what you're doing, what programs, softwares you're doing, and then just talk about that on your stories. So for example, I was working on like a tax return during tax season. So I shared what my office looked like as like a story. I also had like a tax software open. Obviously, I didn't show the client's numbers, but I just took a picture of like my tax software and then I just wrote over it like what I was working on. So, like showing more of what you do, even if it's confidential, you can still share client stories. You just change up the numbers and talk about that industry in general. So I hope you found this helpful. I do have an episode with Kayla coming out this Friday. She's like a content strategist, a marketing expert. All her clients have gone viral just off of organic content. So that will be a good episode for you to tune in if you struggle with content. So I hope you found this helpful. I also like just shoot me a DM, share what you resonated with, what's working for you, what's not working with you. This is like just general tips. So you can try it out and see what it works like. Maybe you don't like keeping that Google Docs open on a weekly basis. Maybe you're like, I just need to do it daily. And that's totally okay. You need to find a way that works for you in the long run. So these are just general strategies, things I'm doing right now. So I just wanted to share it with it in case it helps someone else. So that's it for today's episode. Tune into Friday's episode because that one will be really helpful, hearing Kayla's insights on how to make your content organic plus viral. I'll see you next time. If you're a founder who wants real strategy, not noise, and you want someone in your corner helping you build a business that feels aligned, is profitable, and actually supports your life, you can apply for CFO on Call. This is my one-on-one financial partnership for established founders, typically making between $500K to $2 million, who want clarity, who want structure and confidence with their numbers. The link is in the show notes so you can schedule a profit strategy call, or you can DM me CFO on Instagram at @CindyKumar and I'll send over all the details.